Sour beers can be a great entry point for people who typically don't like the taste of beer. And even if you think sour beer sounds gross, it's a lot more common and delicious than you may think. So in this video, we're going to break down the history of sour beer, the different varieties, and what they taste like. And if you haven't already, make sure to ding the bell, like, and subscribe. Before we go into the different sour beers that are available today, it's important to remember that before 1857, there was no understanding of yeast or bacteria, and all beers were subject to be sour. They were housed in wooden barrels that also housed all sorts of bacteria that would quickly turn your beer from fresh to funky. First, we're going to talk about two different German-style kettle sours. This is a Berliner Weiss. It's a wheat beer originating in Berlin, Germany, that's soured with lactobacillus. That's the same bacteria you use to make yogurt, leaving it with a refreshing but not overpowering tartness. This is a Gose. It comes from the eastern German city of Leipzig, and like a Berliner Weiss, it's a wheat beer, but traditionally it's brewed with coriander and salt. This style of beer, and this brand in particular, is largely responsible for the resurgence and popularity of sour beer today. Belgium is home to the largest variety of sour beer, and most of them are brewed using traditional methods. Here are two examples of sour red ales from the Flanders region of Belgium. Both of them are aged in massive oak foeders to impart sourness, and then that beer is blended with fresh beer to achieve the desired taste. These beers are highly quenching, have a bright red fruit flavor, and an underlying malty complexity that often reminds me of a Tootsie Roll. Finally, we're going to talk about another Belgian-style sour beer that's called Lambic. What's unique about Lambic is that it's spontaneously fermented. That means that it's fermented only using the ambient yeast found in the brew house, leaving the beer not only sour, but funky, often having flavors described as wet hay or barnyard. So it should be of no surprise that people often blend this beer with fruit to make it sweeter and more palatable. Or, if you take your Lambic and blend it together, you end up with a completely different beer called Goose, not to be mistaken with Gose. A Goose is a blend of 1, 2, and 3-year-old Lambic, and when you blend them together, you end up with a bone-dry, highly refreshing beer that, in my opinion, is the true champagne of beers.